YouTube, my friends. What is up, people? Gotta do my normal first, minute and a half of this stream check in to make sure things are good, things are live, things are working. Oh God, my stupid computer. Let me fix something really quick. It's got the wrong time things. No, not network. Why would I want to go to network? I'm trying to fix time. Let's see. How do I fix this? A password. Change the time. Dope. How are you guys doing on this Wednesday evening? I hope you are doing well. I am not looking at the chat right now, but I will be in a second. And we are just switching the clock over on my Mac because it likes to suck. Boom. There we are. What is up, Jeno? What is up, Edgar? Hola. How we doing today? Let's see here. All right. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday stream. If I say Tuesday during this stream, I probably will, to be completely honest, because guess what? I did a stream yesterday on Instagram, and it was Tuesday, so I got used to saying Tuesday. So if I say Wednesday, good. If I say Tuesday, bad. And shame me in the chat. Feel free to do all that. What is up, Richard? What is up, Anthony? All the way from Kenya. My dude. How is Kenya treating you? What time is it in Kenya right now? It's probably let's see, 8, 9, 10 hours ahead? It's probably late there, huh? I was in South Africa not too long ago, and that 7-hour time difference was buck wild. Donovan, my dude, what is up? What is up? I just saw your comment. Your comment on my last video. What did you say? I'm going to respond to it via text, but I'm also... yes. Dude, I love Dribble. Dribble is the best. 12:03 in the night here. Anthony, up late. Night owl. Night owl on this beautiful Wednesday. So, yeah. Oh, no. Decisions were made, and they were poor. I literally just moved this thing. I just moved it. And I was like, it's going to be fine. It'll hold. This bar is way smaller, but no. Gonna have to move it back to where it was. Sorry for your ears. That was my mistake. Let's tighten this back up. Hey, this wouldn't be an Aaron and Beta stream if we didn't have major technical difficulties. I remember the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 times I ever tried to stream on YouTube. They all went, massively poorly. Very, very bad. The first time, my internet was so shit, and I didn't have a way to, monitor myself because I was just using Google Hangouts. And it said it was fine the whole time, and then I watched the replay, and it was I'd talk and chop and stream. That's what it was, and it was terrible. And then the second time I joined, the first live stream I did, there were 6 people that showed up, and they went in and went out. And then the second live stream I did, I literally had two people show up. One of them was my wife, and the second one was, I think, my niece or my mom. It was family members. It was so lame. I sat there for 20 minutes, just rambling, not saying anything. So I can stop monitoring my voice now. It sounds good. Hopefully the mic doesn't fall on my face again. Let me check to make sure my social posts went out for the stream, and we's all good. Oh, God. What's up, Ben? I see you, man. So yeah, let's catch back up on the chat. What is up, Larry? How is it going? What is up, Jenna? Did somebody say they're from New York? Oh, Daniel. What is up, Daniel? In New York. We got the New York contingent out in Buck Wild. Let's see here. Anthony, I feel it. Oh, God. Nikhil, you want to develop your web portfolio. Any tips? Yeah, I have a video on portfolios, but kind of a brief summary. You want to make sure that it says a little bit about you. You want it to be personal. You don't want it to just drown on about the projects that you've built or technologies, right? It's not just a resume. You don't want it to just say your name and say, these are my skills. Cool. add a little bit of flavor to it, a little bit of personality, all of that stuff. I just posted a kind of a little mock-up that I was messing around with on Sketch on my Instagram. If you're not following me, it's over here. On my story about the portfolio that I'm trying to build. So if you want to check that out, feel free. But yeah, add some personality to it, add some flavors, say a little bit about yourself. Make sure your projects are front and center and they can find it really easily. Link to your GitHub and link to your social media if your social media is corporately appropriate. If it's not, if you like to curse or say stupid stuff or argue about politics or like anything like that, then don't link your social medias on there. And yeah, just make sure that it's like it speaks to you and that it's responsive. Make sure that it works on a tablet, mobile phone, and computer, because if it doesn't, that'll look really bad. Yeah. How's it going, Tyler? How's it going, Gambit? Let's see here. Yeah, hopefully this one goes better. The last stream was going in and out too, but that was due to my stupid guest network and my computer connecting to it first, which I've recently had the computer forget, and then now am using the right network, which is important if you want stream quality and you need those fat pipes to the internet, right? Rick, long time since you watched the live stream, missed the last stream, but I'm early on this one. How are you doing, man? I'm doing well. I'm doing good, Senor Rick. I am tired. I've been up since like 3:30 in the morning. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that first cup of coffee this morning. And yeah, I am up early and been trucking away, and I haven't been able to eat or drink anything today. And so I'm running on E. I'm just running on E. Like after like 4:30 in the morning, I haven't ate or drank anything. So it's a rough day for me, but I'm here. The next couple of streams are going to be the same way, but I'm here and I'm excited, and we talking. We out here talking. I do have a topic I want to bring up today, but I'm going to let a couple more people join, and then we're going to talk about it. So yeah, we got 23 people in the chat right now. If you haven't already, feel free to hit that like button on this video. Smash that like button. If I want to be a professional YouTuber, I have to say smash, but hit it because they're super awesome and they make me smile. As you know from every intro I've literally just about ever done. And also, they just make me feel good. Fake Mexican from Colorado here. I don't know what that means, fake-wise, Luis. But what is up from Colorado? I love Colorado. I was out there, climbed some 14K mountains. Some 14ers, as they say in Colorado. It was a good time out in Denver. Nice seeing a Kenyan on the chat. Rick, you're from some. Where are you from, Rick? I remember. Are you also from Kenya? I forget where you're from. Shoot. Working on my portfolio right now. I bought a 15 PSD from Theme Forest, and I'm using to create it. That's awesome, man. Are you wanting to get into like WordPress development? Are they like WordPress kind of themes? Oh, they're just PSDs. So yeah, that's really cool, man. Aaron, when using JavaScript, what's your preference, var or let? So if I'm using JavaScript, I will only, like, honestly, 90% of the variables that I do are const, C-O-N-S-T. Those are immutable variables, so they can't be changed. They're a value, and they're stored in memory as one value. And then I'll use lets as well. I don't use the var syntax anymore, simply because that's like deprecated ES. Well, it's not deprecated, it's still supported, but it's old JavaScript. And new JavaScript, you should use the let or the const keywords. The only downfall if you're doing that is if you are not using like Webpack, or if you're not using Babel to compile your ES6 down to ES5 or lower, then those syntax, I don't know what the browser coverage is, but since I use Babel on every project, I don't need to think about it. But if you're just writing straight JavaScript files and you're going to upload those to the web without using a compiler, then you're going to probably want to use the variable syntax if you want it to be supported in older browsers. It's going good. It's hella big, but it's going to be worth it when I get that job. Yep, all the hard work is going to be worth it when you get that job. That is 100% accurate. That's what you like constantly need to remind yourself. This stuff is a grind. It's a struggle. But like all good things come at a price, and the price is the struggle, the time, the effort right now. And you can find a way to love it. Like, can I develop totally on React? By the way, I love all your vids. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. So you can make your portfolio in React. You can do what I'm going to do, which is make my personal website with a static site generator called Gatsby, which uses React to generate static HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files that you can host via a static service. And it's a lot cheaper to host it that way if you want to do it that way. But if you want to develop it in React, you can do it that way. Use a service like Firebase to deploy it to the internet. I've used Firebase for a couple of projects to have them live and living. But you're not gonna be able to use a thing like, I know a lot of people, and I did at first too, use GitHub Pages for their portfolio site. So you won't be able to use GH Pages if you go the React route, just because that's for static sites. Or at least I think that's true. That may have changed. That may be different now. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Any ideas on doing machine learning apps projects? I'm really interested in doing something using TensorFlow to make stock prediction apps. My passion is predictive apps. I feel you, Anthony. I just bought a Python course. I literally just bought a Python course 2 weeks ago because it's something that I really want to look into. But I have essentially have no experience doing machine learning. I know people that have worked on it. I worked with some people who are working on machine learning stuff at my last job, but I don't have any experience, and I'm not the person who's going to be able to help with those kind of things. TensorFlow seems really cool. It's like the big hotness right now, right? Coding Train. If you don't know Coding Train, he runs a big channel where he does tutorials. That dude is hella smart. Like, he's so smart, and he has been doing a big TensorFlow series on that. So you may want to check out Coding Train. It's a channel on here. Hulk smash that like button. That's what's up. Oh, U.S. born. I see ya. I feel you, Luis. Yeah, PSD. I got there, Tyler. I was thinking weird things. Wondering that varlet thing too. Did I answer the varlet thing clear enough? I know that there was a lot of technical mumbo jumbo in there that if it was told to me when I was first starting this thing, I would have probably flown straight over my head. So if you want a little bit less obtuse explanation of that, feel free to say so, and I can kind of give you an idea. Rick, you're from Kenya, but you live in Texas. What part of Texas do you live in? I was just looking at Texas vacations to Galveston. I love the beach. I'm looking to change careers from government administration to tech. I just completed a certificate program in Java web development. Any advice? I know building a portfolio is step one. Yeah, so having projects to put on your portfolio is either step one, step two, or step 1A. So having projects to be able to put on there and to be able to speak to, and having that base of like actually building things that somebody can like go on the internet and interact with is a big one. And then after that, it's really a hustle. You need to become a salesman. You need to put on your best sales face, and you need to have a strategy and a plan to getting that first job. So apply everywhere that you can, write really dope cover letters, have your portfolio site up and running and looking good, have a good resume, and then just be like, I'm trying to think of the right word. Just be completely and totally like nothing else should matter. Like, your focus should be getting that job, and whatever you have to do, whatever hustle you need to run to get it, is going to be what your life should be for the next weeks or months, or however long. Hopefully not months, hopefully weeks. What is a project idea that you can make with a mean website and make a profit from within a month or two? That's a good question. If I knew that, I mean, honestly, like, your best bet to make, if you want to make quick money in web development, it's not going to be building apps via like that sort of thing. You'll want to go into website development and try to sell like local businesses websites, or do the freelance route in that sense. That's the quickest way to make money doing this. It's not going to be to build an app that's going to be profitable in a month or two. It's just the way that it is. So go find a gym that has a crappy website, or a restaurant that has a crappy website, and offer to redo their website for X dollars. There's a bunch of resources online that talk about how to freelance. I've never done freelancing. I think I would love it, and I think I'd be good at it. I have a sales background, so I think I'm a pretty good salesperson. So I think that I could do it and make a good living doing it, and it's something that I want to look into more in the coming like weeks and months, but it's not something that I personally have experience in right now. What are the major differences between React and Angular? So Angular's by Google, React's by Facebook. React is a Vue library, so it only deals with the Vue layer. And past that, like for data manipulation and stuff, is just straight JavaScript. It's just JavaScript functions. And so React is really, 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 really small in the beginning. If you just import React into your project, it's really small. And it only does a few things. And what it does is it manipulates the DOM. It does rendering really well, and it's a Vue library. And it's really good at what it does. And the really cool thing about React is that there's so many other tools out there that you can place inside or work with next to in conjunction with React, like Redux or MobX or React Router and things like that allow React to become a fully fledged web like framework, like an entire framework. It's not just this like Vue library. And those things you can pick them out one by one as you need them. So if you're building a small app and you don't care about state management, right? The data layer of things, like the data comes in and it doesn't change that much. You don't need to really worry about state, like it keeping it in order too much. And you think that it's like very small and not going to be like this huge problem that you're going to have. You can just use React. And React has a built-in state management, and it's not great, but it's not bad. But then it gets big and you have all of these like massive data sets and they're constantly changing, or you're taking on a bunch of like user interaction and stuff like that. Then you may want to look into a state management solution that's a third party like Redux or MobX, and that's where those things come in. So React starts small, you pick off pieces as you need them. If you need a router, you have a router that you install as well, but it doesn't come like pre-built in, all of that stuff. Angular, on the other hand, has pretty much everything baked in. Like it's a fully fledged framework. So all of the things are there right away. Angular also, I believe, ships with TypeScript. Like I think you're supposed to use TypeScript with Angular. I could be wrong about that, but I know the two people that I know that work in Angular also work in TypeScript. And it works really well with TypeScript. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript that's developed by Microsoft. But Angular is just a lot bigger. It's got a lot more functionality straight out of the box. Some of it you may need, some of it you may not. I have worked with Angular 1. That's what I built my final project in when I was at the boot camp, was Angular 1. Angular has changed a lot since I've looked at it last in any deep or serious way. So I don't know much about Angular 4 or 5 or whatever version of Angular they're on right now. I've worked in React since then, and I love React. The reason why I recommend React is because it's more popular than Angular overall in the US. It may be different in your particular state, area, or locale. Learning JavaScript, PHP, and also design and sketch. How can I stay focused and commit to one? Feel like I got to do a lot at once, or I'm behind of the game. Can I juggle multiple languages as I'm learning? You can. You're going to be possibly falling into the trap of jack of all trades, master of none type of thing, which is fine. Knowing JavaScript and knowing PHP means that you have the skill set to do multiple things, and that's good. The more skills you have, the better. You have two options. You can keep going down the route you're going. You can keep doing JavaScript and PHP simultaneously, and it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to the point where both of those skills are job ready, where both of those skills are like truly good enough to go out and build like a production ready app or something like that. Or you can try to specialize in one. You can decide you want to be a back-end engineer or a front-end engineer, and you can learn JavaScript, or you can learn PHP, and that sort of thing. It's not impossible. Plenty of people do it. There are plenty of full-stack boot camps out there that do the same thing. Typically, people come out of there with one skill a little better than the other, and that's fine. No worries. But for me, I didn't learn code that way. I learned code as a very focused front-end developer. I learned HTML, then I learned CSS, then I learned CSS preprocessors, then I learned JavaScript, then I learned jQuery, then I learned Lodash, then I learned I learned an early version of Vue, and then I learned Angular 1. And that early version of Vue I did one project in, and I couldn't tell you anything about Vue anymore. So my journey was a little bit different, but there's a completely valid reason for you to learn both at the same time. And the way that you stay committed to one is just think about your goals, right? Think about your goals right now at this state right now. Do you want to learn, like, are you lacking in JavaScript? Look at a fully fledged app, a fully like full stack app that you want to build, and what do you need help with? Like, where are you struggling at right now? Focus on that. Keep those skills as much in line as you can. Hi, Aaron. Is Vue.js still a thing? Or is it all about React? So Vue.js is like still on the rise, I guess. It's small compared to React and Angular in popularity, but it's still on the rise. There's not a big, there's not a big, I'm trying to think of what the term is. There's not a big demand for Vue in the job market that I'm in that I've seen, but it's definitely a popular framework. It's kind of the hipster framework. If you would have asked me when I first started what the most popular framework was, I would have said Angular, and React was the cool hipster one. And now it's kind of React's the like really popular one. Angular is still there because a lot of people wrote a lot of code in Angular, and then Vue is the new hipster like framework. So but yeah, it's totally valid to learn. It's just that I don't know what the job market for Vue is. I would assume I mean, I know that it's not nearly as good as React. So could you kindly link or provide the name of the Python course? So I bought Colt Steele's Python Bootcamp from Udemy. Let me see what the name of it is. You guys know that when I get, it's called the Modern Python 3 Bootcamp. It's the name of it on Udemy. So when I buy Udemy courses, I like to work through them before I start like dropping affiliate links on the descriptions of my videos. That's why I haven't put one in there yet for it, because I haven't worked through it. I want to make sure that it's quality and you aren't wasting your $10 or $15 on it, and make sure that it's going to help you. But once I work through it, I'll do a whole video about it and drop it in the description and talk about it. So, but that's the one, Python Modern Bootcamp 3. No. Why do you buy a Python course? You could have that got the Humble Bundle Python kit where you get a $50 DigitalOcean credit, 6-month Egghead.io, and one on Python books and videos. What is this, Tyler? Tyler, hook a brother up. Send me a message with that link, or throw it in the chat, or throw it in the comments of one of my videos. I'm interested. I'm still willing to buy it. If it's worth it, I'll still buy it. No worries. The Cold Steel course was I bought it for $11, so no big worries, my dude. If I don't have any projects to put on my portfolio, should I just go and do projects on my own just to have something to put on my portfolio? You should have projects to put on your portfolio. Now, not everybody has projects on their portfolio when they get a job, which is buck wild to me, and I have no idea how that works, but I do know people that have gotten jobs just with like a really slick resume and cover letter. You should have projects on your portfolio, though. You should go out and build some things. So, speaking of resumes, check your email when you get a chance, bro. Did you send it to? Well, you probably sent it to the only email that I publicize. I will. So that email has gotten unruly, and I've put it off for too long. I really, really, really need to go through and clean that email up, because when I went. So if you guys remember, it was the end of last summer, I stopped. If you guys were around then, I stopped making videos for a while. I think I went a whole month or a month and a half without making a video, and I just got kind of burnt out on YouTube. And when I did that, I also didn't check that email anymore, and I used to respond to every email that I would get. Now, granted, the channel was a lot smaller then. I got a lot less emails. But I haven't responded to an email from that email in a long time, and that's bad. I should do a better job of that. But it's just this like unruly beast sitting there waiting to be fixed, and I just haven't fixed it yet. So, Larry, I will check my email, and I'll be checking one specifically from you. Is it your resume? Do I get to see your resume? Super exciting. I want to build a web app with Facebook Graph API. I love GraphQL. I just started learning about it. Do you think React is a good choice to go with that? And do you have experience with some APIs? So, yeah, React plays really nicely with GraphQL. Facebook made React, so GraphQL and React work really, really well in conjunction with one another. GraphQL works in conjunction with a lot of things, but the technologies were developed by the same company, so they work really well. And yeah, I have experience with APIs, private APIs for the work that I do for the companies that I work for, and then other APIs when I was doing work like on my own for like personal projects and stuff. Every project that I've ever built pretty much has been a front end. It's a separate front end app that interacts with a back end API. So it wouldn't be like a Ruby on Rails app that has React like shoved in it, and then it's like really a Rails app that uses React for the view layer. Every project that I've worked is a full like JavaScript app that just kind of connects to a back end API. So I have plenty of experience interacting with them on the front end. I don't have a lot of experience building them from the back end side. My favorite JavaScript framework is React, and that's because I know it the best. Not saying it is the best to work with. I don't know much about Vue. I don't know much about a lot of the older ones that I don't even know if they're even like remotely used anymore, like Ember and Backbone and Knockout, those kind of things. I've used Angular and I've used React. I really, really, really like React. Honestly, my coursework, my passion ultimately became creating a website and incorporating the SQL database. That is awesome, man. I SQL. It's another thing that I don't have enough experience in. Where exactly NoSQL database, i.e. Mongo. I'm assuming you mean MongoDB is used. So that's the database. That's the data layer on the back end. So that'll be the data models that house all of the information that your app runs off of. What is up, JavaScript R? I'm happy being just a JavaScript dev. I love JS, jQuery, React, and Node. That's what's up, man. Don't need any others but JavaScript. I definitely don't need them right now. Yeah, if you're wanting to do backend, you want to become a full stack and you know JavaScript already, Node is a super awesome option because you already know JavaScript, and Node is a JavaScript framework for building server-side things. So, what is up, Chuck D? How is it going? Awesome, Anthony. I'm glad I could help. Backend language preference. So I know I've interacted with Rails the most. Node is obviously easy to pick up if you're already Ramsey. I just read your comment. Sorry. Node. If you already know JavaScript, Node is the easiest to pick up because you already know JavaScript. Python, obviously, I've just started getting into, which with some web frameworks can become ultra powerful and run certain things. PHP is really popular. Rails is popular, it's losing some popularity. But yeah, PHP, Java, if you want to work for enterprise companies, Java is huge. We have a bunch of Java jobs here in the Triangle because we have a bunch of banks and financial institutions that have like technical teams down here in the Triangle. So Java is really big. Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing code-alongs on streaming sites such as YouTube or Twitch? I have. They're intimidating, right? Putting your like live coding is intimidating. So if you're doing it for an audience of like, if I'm working with my coworker and we're pair programming, live coding is like a little scary. Then if you like add in the fact that it's on YouTube and like literally anybody could show up, like Wes Boss jumps in my stream and starts watching me write React, although it'll never happen, like that's intimidating. But it is something that I think I want to do. And when I actually start building my, oh God, phone ringing. When I actually start building my personal site out, I think that I'll probably do some streams building it on YouTube. I saw, if you guys don't know Richard Codes, he was in the chat earlier. He's probably in bed now because he's in Europe, but he was doing a Twitch stream building his portfolio, and it was super, like I super dug it. So I think it's a good idea. I missed it. It was only for a limited time. It was a steal. Dang it, Tyler. Yeah, if you ever see those kinds of things, feel free to drop them in any of my comments, and I'll try to signal boost them for people because, like, it'll help people out in the chat. It'll help people out in this community surrounding this channel and stuff like that. Speaking of that, I'm going to bring this up on the live stream right now. How many people do we have watching? It's probably not a very big base. 42 people. Interesting. So this is what I want to ask you guys in the chat. Do you have any interest in a Discord channel? Like an Aaron and Beta rounded Discord channel. I've thought about creating one. I may have actually already created one, just not told anybody. But I feel like everybody has one. I'm assuming people get bogged down by messages or they stop checking them out, that sort of thing. I don't know how well it's going or how easy they are to police when you get bad apples into a Discord channel. I haven't done that testing yet. But for things like that, right? Tyler finds this awesome Humble bundle for Python development. It would be really cool if he could signal boost that out to like this community here that we're building. And I think that if we had a Discord channel or like a Slack team, but Slack sucks, man. I mean, I love Slack for work, but I don't want it for that really. I think it would be really, really cool for us to be able to interact like that. So let me know in the comments what you think or in the chat. What if all or most of your projects are for clients and their internal site. Should I build projects just for my personal portfolio site then? Can you show off your client work? If you can show off your client work, feel free to put it on there. If you signed an NDA that you can't like say that you're the one who built it, then you should probably have some personal like projects that you can put on there, but you should also be able to speak to the client work that you've done. But yeah, I mean, I would assume in most freelance gigs, you would not sign an NDA for most websites, but I also don't know what kind of field you work in. So maybe you are signing NDAs, but yeah. Software engineering or front-end development for studying. Depends on what you want to do. And technically, some people consider front-end developers, front-end engineers to be software engineers. You are creating web applications, so you are making a version of software. It depends on how you want to define software. But yeah, what are your goals? Do you want to be a software developer? Do you want to build desktop apps? Do you want to build software? Or do you want to build web apps? And that's going to be the real deciding factor there. For me personally, the web is a huge opportunity right now, so I decided to go into web development. Ramsey coming through with the first. That's what I giggled about earlier, but he's really, really, really not first. For once, Ramsey was not first. I know, JavaScripter. I know it's pronounced JavaScripter. I just like saying it JavaScript R. I think it's awesome. Ramsey's not on top of his game today. Neither am I, Jenna. I feel Ramsey's pain, being a little slow to the punch. Do I need backend for my web portfolio, and what's backend used for other than DB management? No, you don't need a backend for your portfolio. You can, if you build it with something like Gatsby, you can use like a WordPress or Markdown files as your backend, and it will create pages from those, and it's super cool. You should do some research on that if you want to have a backend, or if you want to do like a blog, and you don't want to have to write HTML every time you write a blog, which no one does. But you don't need a backend. You can store all of your files in your file structure for your site. There's really not a lot of data that goes into a portfolio site anyway, right? Most of it is static text, images, and that's pretty much it for a portfolio site most of the time. Now, if you want to have like an interactive site, or if you want to put like a small application that you built on your site that needs to store data, and it needs to instantiate that through like multiple sessions, then you'll need a backend, but you won't need it if it's that. What are backends used for other than database management? It's a lot of times in modern web development, your backend is going to be the API data layer. So it's going to do the CRUD aspects of things. So storing the data of that powers the application. So if you think about, let me think of an example. If you think about Instagram, right? You go to Instagram and you see a bunch of pictures and a bunch of users and a bunch of comments. And if you built it the way that I've always built apps, then you would have a front end layer that is the JavaScript application that goes to Instagram's API and says, give me all of the posts that this person can see based upon who they follow. Give me all of those posts, usernames, all of their comments, how many likes they have. And then my front-end application will take that data, it will sort through it in the way that it needs to sort through it, and then it will display it on the screen. The backend is the API that serves that data to the front end. What books do you recommend for JavaScript? Eloquent JavaScript, it's a free ebook. That is the book that I recommend. Other than that, I have not read any books. Blah, 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 blah. What's going on? My chat is going off the rails. Just got a job offer today. Can we get a round of applause in the chat for Mr. Ramsey Jordan, always the first to comment on every video that I post, and every video by any coding YouTuber, I'm pretty sure. Got a job offer today. What is your job offer for, Ramsey? And if you can tell me, who is it for? And if you can't, send me a message on Instagram or Twitter or on YouTube, because I'd love to know, since we live in the same area. What's my opinion on WordPress? WordPress is super useful for a lot of things. If I were the owner of a website, I would have a WordPress website. It's super useful, and there's money to be made in it. It takes away a lot of the hard work that goes into building something from scratch, but there's still a lot there that's customizable, and there's a lot of opportunity in it. It's just not, me personally, I want to make applications that live on the web. I don't want to make websites. And WordPress is a lot better at making websites than it is making web applications, for sure. Panel interview with 4 people in last time was 4 hours. No sweat. No sweat. You got this, Ramsey. That is awesome, my dude. That's super awesome. Yeah, panel interviews are they're the best, aren't they? What is up, Richard Codes? Still back in the chat. Click on his name or copy that name over to Twitch if you want to see him stream his portfolio website being built. Backend is used as a bear with me. I'm just learning backend. I'm mostly a front end. But backend is used for login form saving data as well as credit card stuff, managing that and so on. Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't even need to be used for login forms. You can have a login form on your front end that passes a token back and forth to a backend API to check for authentication. It depends on what kind of backend you want to do. There's so many options now with JavaScript. It's buck wild to do that sort of stuff. You can also have like a backend language technically be the entire application. Like you can write an entire app that lives on the internet in Rails, which is considered a backend language, but it has a front end layer to it. You can stuff React into a Rails app and have it be one all-encompassing application. It's just not the most modern way of doing things always. Be under pressure for sure, Jenna. I feel you on that sentiment. What roadmap would you use to recommend to a newbie who wants to learn web development? Fun fact, Covrig, if you go to my channel, I think my main video, the big one, it's literally titled Roadmap to Learning Web Development, and it's still 95% relevant today. You're going to want to learn how to code HTML, CSS, JavaScript if you want to be a front-end engineer. If you want to be a back-end engineer, then check to see what the popular back-end languages are in your area, and you want to learn that. You want to build a bunch of really dope shit. You want to take a lot of courses. You want to learn as much as you can, and you want to build really awesome things. You want to get a portfolio together. You want to get a resume together, and you want to find jobs. When you find jobs, you want to write really, really dope cover letters, and then you want to hustle and try to get those jobs and nail the interview. I'm assuming these yes, hell yes, love Discord, yes, 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 why not? I'll join, I'm not on Discord much. Discord would be cool. I'm assuming these are all in reference to Discord. That's why you have mods and bots. I know. Just get someone to set up your Discord channel. Gary, you've thought about making what, a Discord? What is up, Gary Tomlin? How are you? Are you in your boot camp yet? I haven't seen you in so long, my man. The next time I'm in Columbus, we definitely chillin'. I don't like the idea of Discord or Slack channels. A few people in each group. You need lots of people to make it worth it. That's how this is my concern, Richard. I'm concerned that because, it would be different if nobody else had a Discord channel, but everybody has a Discord channel. But my audience and say Coding Phase or Chris Sean, those guys' audience, they overlap a lot, but I know that not everybody is on every one of those guys' channel as well, which is fine. So there are probably people who would find it useful to be in a Discord around this community as opposed to those because they may not be a part of that community, and vice versa. But yeah, I'd be afraid that we'd get a Discord channel up and running, 6 people would be in it, 3 people would be active, and it just kind of die off, and I don't want that to happen. Join, but you don't find yourself on Discord. That makes a lot of sense. Made a Slack for this exact thing. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's important to find those kind of communities on Slack or Discord where this information is shared and disseminated, because not everybody's going to not know everything all at the same time. Get people to trust your admin Discord, set up your bots. Oh, chat jumped again. I've joined our ones that post helpful links and articles, not just senseless chatter. Yeah, that's what I would want, right? Like a community-driven Discord channel that is essentially supportive of a common goal. Yeah. Ehab, I obtained a bachelor's degree in internet technology and I decided to be a front-end developer, but I still can't build a website by myself. I like to download templates and edit it. Is it normal or not? So are you building templates from WordPress templates, or are you building templates from HTML, CSS files? If you want to be a web developer and you want to have a job, or if you want to get a job, you should be able to build common websites for the most part by yourself, right? If you're coming in as a junior, you'll have people who are going to be there to help you. They're going to be people there to help you and hold your hand, but you're going to have to be able to do some things on your own. You're going to need to be able to make a navigation menu or be able to build a fairly simple responsive website on your own. I totally missed your comment, Richard. Would be a would be good if there was a super social media personalities Discord group, all the big boys in one place rather than a few in each. Yeah, Richard, I'm gonna say something. If you can make it happen, if you can convince the communities of the web development YouTubers to come together to have one. So, okay, so I'm going to brief aside. There's a concept on YouTube for people who talk about books on YouTube. It's called BookTube, right? There's a concept on YouTube for people who write called AuthorTube. So you could decide to make a Discord for CodeTube and try to get people to funnel their communities into there. I would be down for it. I think it would be more useful to the community at large than me having my own by myself, because my community is not that big. Like, we got 9,000 people here. That's great, and I'm super happy for every single one of you to be here. But we're not huge, right? We're not Casey Neistat. We're not even Traversy Media. We're not even Coding Phase. So I don't know how useful the community would be because I don't know how large and active the community would be. But if we can get it all funneled together, it would be super useful for everybody. I think everybody would benefit from it, but I just don't know if it's going to be able to make it happen. Problem is, it would be difficult to get everybody. Yeah, that's absolutely true, Jenna. It would be. It sure would be. Because there's going to be. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a bunch of people who, and like, I really don't care. I want this channel to grow and I want this community to grow, and I want to have 100,000 subscribers or 1,000,000 subscribers. That's going to be super dope when that happens, right? But I don't want to be that guy who steps on others to get to the top, right? And so if there's a way to get a community get together where like the top 30 channels on YouTube that talk about web development get their communities together in this one Discord chat, I think that would be super awesome. But you're right, some people aren't going to be down with that idea. And I think it would probably be like, some people would be worried about like people stealing their audience or whatever, which is a legitimate concern. Like, people should be concerned about that. But I want to help you guys out, and I think that would be super useful for you guys. So I think any negative would be outweighed by the benefit for sure. You can use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for front end and WordPress for front end. Sorry if it's a dumb question. No, it's not at all. So WordPress would be the content management system backend for a website. So it would hold all of that information for you and serve it to you. WordPress is written in PHP, which is a server-side language, and so you would make your website out of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or use one of the like pre-built WordPress themes, which are built out of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then you use like WordPress, like particular flavor of PHP to make that site dynamic, to be filled in with the content that you create on WordPress. No life. Yeah, it's definitely not a dumb question. What do you do when you don't have the motivation to code, but you need to? What is your thought process? I try to imagine where I want to be in the next moment, right? What are you doing instead of coding, and is it going to get you there? I have dreams. I have aspirations. What is it that I need to do to get there, right? And if it's the thing that I'm going to put code off for, then great, I can go do that. But if it's not, and it's usually not, then I should code. And once I get into it, I'm usually good with it. It's that my biggest problem with motivation isn't the once I'm into code, being able to code. It's the like actually opening up the computer, firing up VS Code or Atom, and like getting to that first step where I solve a problem and I get that little spark, that little adrenaline rush, that little endorphin kick where it's like, oh yeah, this is why I love this stuff. Once I get that, then I'm good. I can go code for 10 hours, no problem. I also think that there's sometimes a feeling when it comes to learning web development on your own that you should have no time for anything else, and I think that's also true. I think it's good to take breaks. I don't think it's good to take breaks on a day-to-day basis. If you want to do this, you should try to practice code as often as you can, and that, in my opinion, means daily. But it doesn't mean that you need to spend every waking hour that you have to code. You're still allowed to have a life. You're still allowed to fire up Fortnite and play some games of Fortnite. But make sure that you put in the work for Make sure you put in the work for your learning first and reward yourself with those things. Because if I rewarded myself with my Fortnite play, I would never code because I never get wins. But awesome, Ramsey. I am looking forward to it. Ramsey, although we have a bone to pick, I'm going to call Ramsey out here in the chat. If you guys don't know Ramsey Jordan, he's super awesome, but I do have one problem with you, Ramsey. You've told me multiple times you were going to send me a message, and you've never sent me a message. We were supposed to get coffee at Briar Creek. That ain't happening. That ain't happened yet. But I am down to get coffee if you want to. I am down for you to send me a message to tell me where you got a job because that's super awesome. Although for the next 28 some days, for the next month, I won't be able to get coffee with you. It's unfortunate, but I can't eat or drink anything during the daytime. Let's see. Forgot about that. I used to use like login with Facebook with the Graph API to fetch. Yeah, you can do it that way too. 4 a.m. in India. Go catch some sleep, my dude. Go catch some sleep. So actually, I had somebody reach out on Instagram today when I was talking about this stream. There's going to be some times in the near future where I'm going to do streams on the weekends during the day so that I can catch more people who are overseas and not just US based or late, like people who are up late on the West Coast, stuff like that. Yeah, I want to do a little bit different. Like, I'm going to keep doing these Wednesday streams at 5 p.m. I also wake up very, very early in the morning, and I don't necessarily have to jump into work first thing in the morning every day. So I might do some like early a.m. live streams. Like, I'm talking like 5 a.m. Eastern live streams. So if you guys are in a different time zone and they're not super convenient for you, you may not be watching this right now, but if you're watching it on delay, leave a comment down below if you can make a 5 a.m. Eastern stream or like a 11 or noon Eastern Standard Time stream on the weekends. Gary, you start Monday. Everybody give a clap for Gary in the chat. He's starting his coding bootcamp on Monday. Gary is an old friend of mine. We go way back. We go back to, hot damn, Gary, it's been like 8 years since I met you. That is buck wild. John, what is up, man? Just installed Discord on your MacBook. That's funny. Perfect timing. Amber, thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate you coming and dropping some love in the comments. Let's see, what do we got as far as people here? We got 43 people in the chat. That is awesome. What time is it? How long have we been doing this thing? 5:48. I can feel my voice starting to slip a little because I don't have any water to drink. If you guys watch my live streams on a regular basis, you know I just chug water on these things. How did I approach designing my portfolio website? I can build sites, but wouldn't know where to start designing one. So I just released a video about this actually yesterday. You can draw inspiration from places like Dribble, D-R-I-B-B-L-E, no, D-R-I-B-B-B, 3Bs, L-E.com. Just go on there and type in personal site, portfolio website, web developer website, all of those things. You can type in best web developer portfolios, and there'll be like 10 blog posts that pop up right there at the top. You can try to draw some design inspiration from those, and there's no shame in that game, right? You don't have to be a designer to be a front-end developer. I said that a bunch in that video. You don't. So feel free to borrow designs from others. Personally, this is going to sound silly. I had an idea for what I wanted the header of my portfolio to look like. I just had this idea, and it like reminded me of kind of a sunset, and I had this color palette in my mind. It was kind of like a digital woodland lumberjack. I don't know. It sounds stupid. Whatever. I'm getting weirdly creative. And so that's kind of how I ran with it. Actually, I might even be able to. It's up right now. How would I do this? So I know there's a way to do this. Let me see here. If I do a window capture, okay, and then I pick the window, desktop picture, modified, nope, well, apparently I can't pull in Sketch. Let me see. What if I minimize Sketch? Can I now do it? I'm going to try to pull it up. All right, let's see. OBS, Window, Chrome, full screen backdrop, download. No, I can't pull in Sketch from here. So we'll do this a different way. Let's grab a screenshot here. And then I can pull it up somewhere else somehow. Don't ask me how. I'm still new to this OBS thing on how to like get this to actually work the way that I want it to work. So let's see if I can share this in the window capture now. Dock, full screen backdrop, stock. Nope. Why? Dude, OBS is weird. It doesn't like to share. Huh. It won't let me window capture that for some reason. So yes, we'll delete that. And then is there a way? So we can do it as an image though. I'm going to get this down, guys. I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff in the chat, and I'm sorry about that. Boom. Look at that. All right, so this is I just literally played around with this for like an hour earlier. So when I went about, oh God, I'm so far back in the chat now. So when I went about designing this or coming up with the concept of it, I had an idea for this green header with this orange circle and the Aaron and Beta in this like kind of yellowy off-white color with a little text underneath it. And this isn't a final design by any means or anything like that. It's super, super duper simple and everything. So there's nothing special about it really. But this is just kind of my first pass at it, and I wanted to try Sketch out, and this gave me a good excuse to do Sketch. I like followed 15 minutes of an online tutorial on Sketch, and then was like, screw it, I'm gonna go try to break Sketch and see what I can come up with. And this is what I came up with. So that's kind of how I came about it. These cards are definitely going to change. I was just trying to play around with some different stuff, but yeah, that's what's up. So I'll take that off the screen now, and yeah. All right. That's Tech Flask. That's why I made it for people who love code and tech and so on. Oh, Tech Flask is the Stack Overflow thing that you said. JavaScripter, will it let you post a link in the chat to it, or just post in the instructions how to get to Tech Flask? It's a Slack community for code and tech and stuff like that. Well-rounded web developer, Dev Mountain, or backend developer, 3 full stacks. Coding Dojo, can't choose. I need advice, please. What do you mean? Oh, are you trying to ask would I pick Dev Mountain or Coding Dojo? I don't know because I don't know enough about either of them, but I do, from my personal experience, I just feel like Dev Mountain has a really, really, really good, like it's well regarded in the industry. I could be wrong. I don't know. We don't have any Dev Mountain grads where I am, really. So, but I've heard really good things about Dev Mountain. That could just be clever marketing. So the nice thing about things being separate is that there are different personalities. I like your perspective and your style much better than some of the other big players. Yeah, for sure. I think that I don't think like merging channels is obviously ever going to work, right, Amber? And I totally get what you're saying. There's different personalities. I don't know if we were going to do a have a good night, Richard. If we were going to do a big community-driven Discord channel, I don't think it would work if it was led by somebody who was also the head of one of these YouTube communities. I don't think it would work if it was Coding Phase's Discord channel or Chris Sean's Discord channel or Traversy Media's Discord channel, right? It would have to be something where a lot of people get together and agree that they are going to recommend a community-driven Discord channel that has some administration at the top who are viewers of multiple channels who are well regarded and trusted in the community. Because you're right, there would be a bit of drowning out if that were the case. But I think that's the cool thing about coding YouTubers right now, is that there is kind of a flavor for everybody, a style for everybody, right? The same person that likes my videos aren't necessarily going to like Dreaded Devs videos, because we have two different, like completely different styles. And there's some overlap in the content that we produce, but it's okay because, you know, the people who are only going to be his audience are happy with his stuff, and the people who are only going to be my audience are happy with my stuff, and we have a lot of crossover, and I think that's a really good thing. Travis Nielsen, that is a name I haven't heard. Travis Nielsen. Is he also a programmer on the YouTubes? Hustle hard is right. Have a good night, Richard. I said that already, but you know. What is up, Spectre Speed? Cactus or whatnot, right? Do I want admin on Tech Flask? Let me get in there and see. I have a feeling that if I get in there and I get admin status, I will be in there 24/7, and yeah, might be a little bit of a time suck for me because I'm super into that stuff, man. I am super into like the Slack communities that are like, let's discuss X, or let's talk about a good plan for Y, and like being super nerdy together. Yeah. What is up, Mick Coder? Lawrence, it is probably now past midnight in SA. What part of SA are you in? Pretoria? Pretoria? Is that right? Yeah. Man, I want to go to Cape Town so bad. Can I go back to Cape Town, please? What is up, young Carlos? Wasn't our first conversation on Xbox Live Call of Duty? Am I imagining that? Yeah, you are imagining that. Gary and I's first conversation, oh God, Gary, you might be right. I'm pretty sure the first time we ever talked in person was at Rita's. It was an ice cream place in Columbus. It was you and Harun and Luis. Can you share your thoughts on data analysts and the job growth projected? So data's only getting bigger. The longer we go, the more data that is generated. Data analysts are like, that career path seems super wide open right now, and it seems super important, and like there's going to be a lot of opportunities in it. I don't think that's a bad path at all. What is up, Elliot from Seattle? What do you think about per using a HTML developer job to get your foot in the door, then transitioning to front end or full stack after a certain time? I think that's perfectly valid. I think that you need to get that, experience somewhere, somehow, and something that is at least a developer adjacent. And there's no problem taking a job that is simple, or there's no problem taking a job that's simple, like as a basic HTML developer, if you're an email developer, that sort of thing, to get that first layer of experience and to be working on real things that real people pay for. What you want to make sure that you don't do is get stuck in that you don't get pigeonholed into that, and that you're not there for 5 years doing the same thing if that's not what you want to do. Now, if you get in there and you love to do like test engineering or something like that, then great. Then you found a different career path than you thought you were, and it's a wild ride and you found something different, and that's great. You found something you love. But if it's not what you love, don't get pigeonholed in it because it's a decent job and you make decent money, although you could make more if you did X or you did Y, or your passion is this or your passion is that. Don't get pigeonholed into it, for sure. Alex, thank you so much for the kind words, my man. I appreciate it so much, and I'm glad you liked the video. I'm glad you watched it. I hope you hit that thumbs up button, though. Did you hit that thumbs up button, my dude? What content I should on my portfolio? You should put content. You should put things that you've built. So if it's like websites, layouts, those sorts of things that you've built, put those on there. Link to the GitHub. Link to them if they're live on the internet. If you've built small web applications, put those on there. If you built big web applications, put those on there. If you're building applications, try to have them live on the internet so people can interact with them. Going heavy on Treehouse. If you got any other Rex advice, I'll take them. Man, if you're starting Monday, don't drop any more money on anything. Yeah, just keep going heavy on the Treehouse. Get yourself on the right foot and start off ahead of the curve for sure. Young Carlos, you would be better off starting with WordPress. Yeah, you're going to be in a better position if you start off with WordPress. If it's your only opportunity, though, and you're trying to become like an HTML developer, I think I think he might be referencing Coding Phases video from a week ago or so about HTML and email templates and stuff like that. I think that he makes completely valid points in his video that you can get a job, you can get your start, and kind of do that for a while and then transition to something bigger and better. I think the HTML developer would be CSS as well. You would just be doing inline styles as opposed to writing in separate CSS files. What is up, Steven? How's it going? What's up, Shane? I will never ever be anything other than a Aaron to like a vast majority of people who watch Key and Peele. That's true, Ramsey. These ain't bad these ain't bad advices that you're given. Yeah, it's the email developer thing that Coding Phase was talking about. I don't think it's a bad thing. If you can snowball it into another job, then it's not a bad thing. Sketch is awesome. The only problem with Sketchden is that it's only for Mac, and I know a lot of people don't have Macs. I wish they'd port it over, but I don't know what's going on with it. I'm going to mess this up. Kiwan. Give me a phonetic spelling in the chat, and I'll get better at it, I promise. Hey, Aaron, I'm also from the Raleigh-Durham area and would like to have some feedback about my portfolio from you if you don't mind. Where can I send this info to? Send me a message on Instagram. That's where I check the most frequently. So my Instagram is 937Aaron. You can see it right there. And I will check it out. What part of Raleigh-Durham are you from? That's super awesome, though. Let me know if you want to grab a coffee since Ramsey won't. Oh, it's definitely hard to sell a company on that. If there's an opportunity though already, then it's yeah. That's also true, Ramsey. That you need some marketing experience, unless they have a big marketing team. But you may need to know some marketing patterns and stuff like that to kind of swing one of those jobs. Yeah, design skills. Yeah, they probably have designers on staff then. I want to get into programming. However, there are no coding boot camps located in my area. What can you recommend? You don't need a boot camp to do it. You can do it all online. Udemy, Treehouse, Udacity, those kind of places are all online. You don't need a boot camp to get there to learn those things. You can also do online boot camps. Those are totally a thing now. So if you can do online learning, online boot camps are an option. No, I've never heard of Travis, Tyler. Is that a bad thing? Cactus indeed. Jeez, I'm so long-winded when I answer these questions that I get so behind on chat. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I know Travis. Dev tips. See, my brain isn't working, guys. Okay, I'll repeat it again. I have not ate or drank anything since 4:30 this morning. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. My brain is all messed up, so I forgot who the Travis was. I'm sorry. I love Dev tips though. Yeah, dude was super chill. He had a really cool voice. He had a unique voice. I liked his voice a lot. No Life, thank you so much for the kind words, my man. My community is awesome. I love everybody who's here. I'm so happy that we've built this thing the way that we've built it, and somehow I've somehow managed to convince 9,000 of you lot to follow along in this journey. I don't know how, but you guys are good peeps. GitHub released something called Glitter where they have communities based specifically around a language, library, framework, and more. I've briefly read about this, and I need to do some more research into it, but that's a good point. I need to open that up. JavaScripter. Yeah, send me an email, Aaron, the letter N, beta at gmail.com with a invitation for it. I'll join. I still go back and watch old videos because I like the old dev tips. Yeah, dev tips is super awesome. And like for all the people that were like, oh, dev tips is like no more because Fun Function took it over. I think that's completely true. Dev tips was its own thing. Completely agree with Coding Phase and his points on that. And I'm sad that he's gone, but sometimes you have to do stuff for yourself, and he did something for himself, and I can't fault a man for that. Is it possible to go from self-taught to landing your first remote position, any language to specialize in? I mean, JavaScript is the most popular language on the web right now, so probably JavaScript because it's going to give you the most opportunities. It is possible. It may not be the best option, though. Like, I am essentially a remote developer now. There are no development resources in the States. They're all in London and South Africa. And my job is a lot harder because of it, because I'm not a completely self sufficient senior developer, right? I struggle at times to get stuff done. And if it's 3 in the afternoon or 4 in the afternoon, there's probably nobody online who can help me because they're 7 hours ahead or 5 hours ahead. Um, Remote positions can be tough. And you just need to go into it knowing what you're getting into working remotely. Donovan, enjoy your dinner. Have an extra bite for me. How do you use CSS with React? So before I was doing modular CSS files inside of React component files, but I was recently introduced to styled components a couple of months ago. Styled components are so dope. If you guys don't know what styled components are, check it out immediately after this live stream if you use React. Styled components are amazing when you're talking about writing CSS in React. It feels icky to write it feels icky to write CSS in your JavaScript files. Styled components makes you feel better about it. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you can do it either way. Styled components or the CSS files in there. You can write your CSS directly in the JavaScript. You can also just modularize it and have the CSS have it live next to the component file itself. Adobe XD is better than Sketch in my opinion. Uh-oh, we have a war. Jenna, get him. Get him. I do appreciate that Adobe XD is available on both platforms, but I've never used Adobe XD when it comes to doing this. I literally just downloaded Sketch 2 days ago and threw that mock-up together at like 6 this morning, so. I saw they made it free today. Is that okay? So I saw this, and feel free to tell me in the chat the information about this. I didn't do any research on it, but I saw a couple of tweets about it. Adobe XD is completely free, like no strings attached. I can go download Adobe XD for free right now. Because if that's true, that's huge. That's amazing. I wonder why they did it though. Is there a catch? What's the catch? Tell me, Adobe. You money hungry mother. Tell me what the catch is. Yeah, I mean, Style Components has a CSS inside, but I'm still down with it. Saturday at 10? Saturday at 10 for coffee, Ramsey. I just told you I can't drink or eat anything. I'll watch you two drink coffee on Saturday at 10 if you want to. Is there an online bootcamp that you have heard most better things about? I don't feel comfortable giving a recommendation for an online bootcamp. And the reason why is because it's a lot of money. And I think that you should do your own research on it. And I have not done enough research to be able to tell you to go drop $10,000 on something, right? I'm not going to tell you to go buy X car because I don't know it. I'm not going to do the same thing with a bootcamp. My suggestion on doing research for it, my suggestion for doing research on a coding bootcamp, whether it's online or in person, is make sure you can talk to the instructor, make sure you can see the actual curriculum that you'll be learning, and try to talk to alumni and read every possible review you can, and take every review with a grain of salt, whether it's a good review or a bad review, and then you come to your own conclusions about whether you trust it or not. I didn't trust the bootcamp that I went to like 100%. I was still like 5% concerned it was a scam before I went. But I believed it enough, and I talked to enough people, and I read enough reviews to be like, okay, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to take this risk, because it is a risk. I'm going to take this risk and jump headfirst and see what happens. And luckily, it turned out to be great. I always tell people to use styled components. It's like a whole other way of thinking CSS and JavaScript for sure. You're welcome, Max. You can't put HTML tags in chat with Yahoo. No, you can't. You sure can't. Let's see. Is there an online bootcamp? Not really much of a coffee person, but I'm definitely down to come and hang out. Well, you can drink tea or get a water. We'll both watch Ramsey drink coffee. It's a whole other way. Yeah, that's true. Time to start doing more JS learning. I'll be back for the next one. Have a good one, John. Learn lots of things. I'll see you on IG soon. And give developers a mad. Bad enough they hate writing HTML and JavaScript. Now they really gonna have a fit with CSS. And I mean, yeah. Everybody has their own principle about what is best and what is right, and I think everything works and whatever works best for you and your particular project. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. Just because something disrupts what the norm is doesn't mean that it's bad either. What's the most enjoyable language to start learning? I read Chris Dodd's book yesterday, and he talks about how you should start with a language you enjoy writing. What I would suggest, honestly, is for you to go on Codecademy and do like a couple of hours of each of the basic courses for the like popular programming languages right now. So go play around with Java and good luck, you'll hate it. Go play around with JavaScript. Go play around with Python. Go play around with PHP and see which one you like the most. What I hear usually the best programming language to learn first, a lot of people say Python. A lot of people say Ruby on Rails or Ruby. They're both really easy to understand. And when you see them written, it almost feels like you're reading English and not a programming language. Oh, I know it's not that serious, Jen. I was just kidding. I didn't want to actually create a Bloods versus Crips style gang war between Adobe XD users and Sketch users. I just wanted to shoutcast for a second. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good, Tony. I think that's just kind of the way of the world. Remote positions are awesome. And you're super lucky when you get one. They're not always the best for your growth, and they're not always the best for your development, and they can leave a bitter taste in your mouth. So just make sure it's a good opportunity with a supportive team that has done this before with junior developers and knows how to handle that situation. It was free during the beta, then it went paid, and now it's free. That's interesting. Free Adobe products. Why not try it out? I mean, yeah, if you can get free Adobe stuff, man. Huh. Interesting. I mean, yeah, we can watch Ramsey drink coffee. That's what I'm saying. IDK why they made it free unless every designer that's using Sketch and they weren't making any money on Mac. Yeah, I mean maybe totally possible. But what's the business plan there? They think you download Adobe XD and you fall in love with Adobe products, so then you get a Creative Cloud subscription because then you can use like Adobe Stock and Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator more easily with XD. That's probably what it is, right? XD is probably a cheaper product to begin with for them on a development standpoint. So they release it for free and they're hoping that it rolls into more subscriptions for Creative Cloud because of some like ease in workflow when it comes to Photoshop and Illustrator. I almost guarantee you that's what it is because they're trying to poach people from things like Sketch, and they're going to say, "Hey, you are doing these vector designs too, and you're importing those into Sketch, and you have this weird workflow. Well, now you can get Creative Cloud and do this all together." It's probably their plan. If we're actually making these plans, we need to make them not in a live stream chat. I will honestly go get coffee with y'all Saturday if you want to, but you got to slide in the DMs or something to make it happen. So I'm getting interested in being a backend dev. Do you have any experience with MySQL development? I do not, McCoder. I am so sorry. I am not a backend person. The only experience I have with DB is Mongo stuff, and it's not all that much, to be 100% with you. Of course, Luca, always. I'm always going to keep it 100. That's what's up, Luca. I'm glad you hit that notification bell, my man. Just sent a DM. Awesome. I will check it after the stream. Also, I'm going to cut this stream off very shortly. It's 6:15. My throat is getting to be very dry. I really, really need to eat dinner. Ramadan Mubarak for anybody who's celebrating Ramadan in the chat. I don't know if we have any anybody in here doing those kind of things. It's the first day of Ramadan, if you didn't know. Does anyone have some experience with gambling sites using CS:GO skins instead of real money? No. I have no. Well, I have. Gonna get me in trouble, no life. Talking about illegal things. I would suggest learning a language and having a goal which you want to achieve. I started learning Java a year and a half ago because I wanted to make cheats for the games I played. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I had a Creative Cloud subscription for a while and then I didn't use it because I was using Final Cut for video editing and I can't do photo editing, so I never used Photoshop. 43-hour bootcamp full web development course, Colt Still. Yeah, Colt Still's course is dope. Colt Still's course is super awesome. Wish to build your own server, host video streams. Yeah, you can do that, man. Good luck with that. Take care. Luca, you take care as well, man. I'll catch you in the next one. My phone just buzzed. I need to make sure it's not my wife. asking for help for anything. I just got a hey. So okay, cool. Sorry, got a weird message. Didn't know what it was about. Why can't I eat or drink anything? Because I am currently fasting. 'Tis that time of year again. Red Dragon. Yeah, Colt Steele from Udemy. He is an absolute boss, man. He is an absolute boss. But let's cut the stream off here. We've kind of caught up to the chat, which is super awesome. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button on this video. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to go and leave them in the comments, and I will respond to them as soon as I can. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you guys have any ideas, subjects, topics that you'd want to see covered in a new live stream, feel free to leave them in the chat as well. I got caught up with questions and I didn't ask the question I wanted to. Okay, so we're going to keep this chat going. We're going to keep the live stream going for 15 more minutes. I lied to you. Everybody probably left already. We did lose a bunch of people right now. Okay, so in the chat right now, I want to hear what your guys' passion project is. What is the project that you really want to build? And it's like the thing that's driving you. And if you don't have one, that's fine too. If your passion project right now is just to learn code to get a job, that's totally valid. Jenna, you aren't last. I kept the chat going. Sorry. Tony, you're not last either. Hey, if you guys don't know Jenna, Jenna's a super awesome developer who does YouTube things and does Instagram things. And she also is launching a clothing brand. Jenna, do you want to drop the name of your clothing brand? Hit me with that at underpaid in the chat, what the IG handle is. Go follow her clothing page. Go follow her on Instagram. Super awesome. Heck yeah, Woodbeast. That's what's up. How close are you to getting that done? You guys aren't going to be last. I've still got this thing going for 13 minutes. Louise, did you call me lazy? That's what's up, Jenna. I know there's a delay between the chat and my voice, but hit him with that IG handle in the chat. Jenna just dropped that IG handle at underpaid _ clothing. Go check it out on Instagram. Give her a follow. Check it out. It's going to be dope. She's a good designer. Passion project to learn code was inspired from The Foundation by Dan Maxwell. Ever heard of it? Building a SaaS business. I haven't, but that sounds like a book I would be super into. Any books on entrepreneurship or anything like that, I'm down for. Feel free to give me those recommendations all day. I want to make the best music application for Android that is appealing visually and always displays the cover artwork. Okay, Red Dragon. Let me tell you something. This isn't a music application, but I'm an Android user, and you know what there isn't one of that if I wanted to try to steal people's thunder, I would try to build. There is not a perfect, in quotation marks, podcast application for Android. All of them do something that I hate, or they don't do something that I really want, that the iTunes podcast app does on Apple. Stitcher, tried it. Podcast Addict, tried it. Google Play, tried it. Spotify, not built for podcasts. I can listen to them on there, but that's not the point of it. A voice over IP application which uses WebRTC and allows users to call, screen share, use webcam and contacts. My main audience would be companies looking for platforms for employees. That's what's up, Tyler, man. There are people looking for that because people use Skype, and Skype flipping blows for that. If you haven't looked into a product called Zoom, it's very similar to what you're talking about. So find out what the flaws are with Zoom and make your product better. You need a dev. Become a dev. Become a dev, my man. No Life, do you live in the States? I mean, it might be illegal. I don't know. I just hear gambling and I assume it's illegal. Although the Supreme Court did just pass that decision about sports betting, so. Yeah, gambling. Well, sports betting is on its way to being legal. And then states are allowed to build casinos if they want to. So yeah, Ohio passed a law not too long ago. They have like 4 or 5 casinos there now. Use React Native. I love React Native. I haven't done enough with it, but I love Native. I don't know about most, Ramsey. It'll definitely be legal in some states. I don't think North Carolina will do it though, right? I don't know if North Carolina. If you're from the Czech Republic, I don't know what y'all's laws are like, but it's probably illegal over there because Europe cares way less about gambling than the states do because we're backwards like that. But yeah, dudes, it was really fun hanging out. I'm glad we got to do this, and we'll be doing it again next week at 5 o'clock. Once again, I'll be probably sleep deprived, probably calorie deprived, probably H2O deprived, but we will make it work just like we did today. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. Once again, any other questions, leave them in the comments. If you haven't hit the like button already, do it. If you haven't hit the subscribe button already, do it. If you haven't hit the little bell icon so you know when I go live, do it. Because like I said, I'm going to be doing some random live streams at random times throughout the day. So, you know, for people who are overseas, who maybe this isn't the most convenient time for them, West Coast people, that sort of stuff. So everybody does the lottery though, Ramsey. But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Ramsey, hit me up if you actually want to meet up this weekend. No pressure at all. I just like messing with you, man. If you don't want to, I completely understand. I'm a weird dude from YouTube. I wouldn't want to meet up with me either. LeBron coming back from a 2-0 hole. That would be epic. If he does it, that would be epic. But then he's going to go get swept in the finals anyway. Let's go Golden State tonight. What is up, Steph Curry? Chef Curry with the pop, boy. Bye, guys.